class. Today we are going to learn chapter number 3, Genetics, part 1. Genetics. What is meant by genetics? It is a branch of biology which deals with the study of heredity. Heredity is nothing but transmission of body features or characteristics from one generation to another generation. Overall, genetics is the study of transmission of body features, both similarities as well as differences from parents to offsprings, and also the laws related to such transmission. John Gregor Mendel is an Austrian monk and he is the father of genetics. What is meant by heredity? As I told you, the transfer or the transmission of characteristics from one generation to another generation is called heredity, and the study of heredity is called genetics. Next, variation. What is meant by variation? These are the small differences among individuals. Where you can see variation. I will give you one example. A baby or an offspring, he is not an exact or Xerox copy of his parent, any of their parent. Okay, he may possess only few characteristics, but you can see few variations in his body. He is not an exact Xerox copy of either of the parent. So, the other features which are not similar to their parents are called variations. Next, character. What is meant by character? Any inheritance feature is called character. Say for example, eye color, hair shape, hand use, like that. It is also called trait. Next, inheritance in humans, list of characteristics. Just now I told you what are characters or traits. Here is a list. Color of the eye, brown or blue. If your parent, any of your parent has blue color, you may have a chances to get a blue color eye. If your parent has brown color, you will get brown color definitely. Hair shape, curly or straight. If any one of your parent has curly hair, you may get curly hair. If both the parents has curly hair, definitely you get curly hair. So these are the characteristics. Eyebrow, heavy, bushy or thin. Hand use, right hand or left-handed use. Earlobe, free or attached. RH blood group, RH positive one, negative. It's a kind of blood group. As you know, positive blood group and negative blood groups. Next, chromosomes. These are the carriers of heredity. As you know, genes are present within DNA. So, DNA is present within chromosomes. So, chromosomes are the carriers of heredity. Next, karyotype. Karyo in the sense nucleus, type, studying. The study of arrangement of chromosomes according to shape and size in a nucleus is called karyotype. It is the study of how chromosomes are arranged according to shape and size in a nucleus. What is a chromosome number? Chromosome number may vary from one species to another species. Chromosome number is same in all the species, all related species. Say for example, all human beings possess same number of chromosomes, but related species like monkey or any other mammals, they may possess different number of chromosomes. Chromosome number varies in different organisms, but it is constant in same species, but in related species it may vary. Example, Ascaris possess or roundworm possess 2 chromosomes, onion 16 chromosomes, maize 20 chromosomes, lion 38, human 46, insects more than 1000, dog 78. Now, homologous chromosomes. What is meant by homologous chromosomes? A pair of corresponding chromosomes of the same size and shape, one from each parent, is called homologous chromosomes. I will give you one example. A baby or a fetus, he will get 46 chromosome. He may have 46 chromosome in his cell. Out of 46, 23 chromosomes are from father and another 23 chromosomes are from mother. So both the type of chromosomes, they are arranged in a pairs. How many pairs? 23 pairs. These pairs, this set of chromosomes are similar in size as well as shape. One set is from father, another set is from mother, maternal as well as paternal, right? So both the chromosomes should be of same size as well as shape, called homologous chromosomes. Now let us see the definition. A pair of corresponding chromosomes of the same size and shape, one from each parent. Heterologous chromosome, as the name indicates, hetero, different, dissimilar chromosomes. Dissimilar chromosomes in the sense, if the parent, as I told you, if the chromosomes are two chromosomes are from both the parents, these chromosomes are dissimilar in nature. They are not similar in size as well as shape. Those are called heterologous chromosomes. Now, categories of chromosomes. Chromosomes are categorized into two types. One is autosome, another one is allosomes. Autosomes and allosomes. Autosomes. Out of 23 pairs, as I told you, there are 23 pairs of chromosome. Total number is 46, right? So, out of 23 pairs, the first 22 pairs, I mean, start from the number 1 up to 22. So, first 22 sets of chromosome are pairs. First 22 pairs of chromosomes are called autosomes. They are also called somatic or body chromosomes, which are identical or homologous in nature. What is meant by identical or homologous? The chromosomes are similar in size as well as shape. The first 22 pairs of chromosomes are similar in size and shape. 22 pairs of chromosomes are similar in size and shape. These are also called somatic chromosomes or body chromosomes. And the scientific term is autosomes. How many autosomes are there in each cell? 22 pairs. Next, allosomes. The 23rd pair, the last pair of chromosomes is nothing but allosome. They are also called sex chromosomes, which are designated as X and Y. There is a pair, right? Pair of chromosome, 23rd pair, two chromosomes are there. One chromosome is X, another chromosome is Y in case of males. But in case of females, both the chromosomes are XX. The XX pair with similar partners is found in females, as I told you just now, whereas the XY pair with dissimilar partners is found in males. The Y chromosome of male is smaller than the X. So, the 23rd pair is similar in females, but in males, the 23rd pair is dissimilar. That is why it is called heterologous chromosomes. Sex determination. How can you predict, how can you identify whether a developing baby in mother's womb is son or daughter? Let us see now. The sex of a child depends upon the kind of sperm that fertilizes the egg. I repeat, the sex of a child depends upon the kind of sperm that fertilizes the egg. So, a newborn baby, whether it may be a son or daughter, the prediction, it totally depends upon males but not on females. Why? Because the growing baby, either it may be a son or daughter, it depends upon the sperm. If I will tell you how it is, I will explain now, you come to know how exactly it is. The egg contains only one chromosome, that is X chromosome. As I told you, gametes, the body cells has, the body cells, keep it in mind, the body cells has 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs of chromosomes. But gametes, either it may be a sperm or egg, it has only half of the chromosomes, half of it. In previous chapter you have learnt it already. Gametes possess only 23 chromosomes, right? So, here the gamete example is sperm or ova or egg. It possesses only 23 chromosomes. When ova or egg fuses with sperm, 23 plus 23. Totally the zygote, now it has how many number of chromosomes? 46. So, the egg contains only one X chromosomes. As I told you, the 23rd pair of chromosome, it is divided into, in females, what type of chromosomes are present? Both are homologous, X and X. In case of males, the 23rd pair of chromosome is X and Y. So the probability of gamete formation in females are X and X. But in case of males, there are two types of sperms, X sperm and Y sperm, right? X sperm and Y sperm. See here, the egg contains only one X chromosome, but half of the sperms produced contains X chromosomes, the remaining half bears Y chromosomes. So, the sperm production, either it may be a million or trillion or 100 or 1000, whatever it is, the half of the sperms carrying X chromosomes, remaining half sperms carries Y chromosomes, right? Now, if the egg X is fused with X bearing sperm, X chromosome bearing sperm, then the resultant combination is XX, that is female constitution, and the child produced is female or daughter. If the egg X, always X, is fused by Y chromosome bearing sperm, then the resulting combination is X plus Y, what? XY. This is a combination of male constitution, and the child produced is male or son. Now tell me, the determination or the growth of either it may be a son or a daughter depends upon whom? Female or male? The child prediction depends upon male or female? Always male. If male releases or the sperm carrying Y chromosome fuses with egg, then the resultant baby is male baby. If the sperm possesses, or if the sperm has X chromosome, then the resultant baby is female. So the sex of a baby depends upon males but not on females. Why? Because females always gives only X, but males give either X or Y. See the formula. Sex determination in human beings. Parents, father, he is carrying what type of chromosomes? Both the last pair X and the last pair of chromosome XY. In mother, 23rd pair is X and X. This is in gonad. In father, XY production takes place. XY is there in testis. In mother, XX is there in where? Ovaries. These are gonads. Gonads produces what? Gametes. Here father produces gametes are the sperms, X and Y sperms. Here mother produces eggs, X and X eggs. When X chromosome carrying sperm fuses with X, then it is a female. See, there is 50-50 chances. Totally, when you see the probability, there are 50% chances of females and 50% chances of males. Genes. What are genes? Genes are the specific parts of a chromosome or DNA segments which determine the hereditary characteristics. We always used to say the word genes. It is there in genes. What exactly the genes? These are the segments of DNA which transfers from one generation to another generation. You may carry both of your parent genes, but maximum your mother characteristics you carry compared to further genes. Genes are the specific parts, DNA segments of a chromosome which determine the hereditary characters. What is meant by genome? It is a full complement of DNA including all genes and intergenic spaces of an organism. The whole DNA, the study of whole DNA in a chromosome or in a cell is nothing but genome. What is meant by allele? Alleles are alternative forms of a gene occupying same position or locus on homologous chromosomes and affecting same characteristics but in different ways. I will give you clear explanation what exactly the alleles. Genes, as I told you, gene is a segment of DNA. Genes are always in pairs like a twins. Genes are always in pairs, but these pairs are always contrast in characteristics. Contrast in the sense opposite. Say for example, in a pair of gene, one gene encodes for curly hair, another gene encodes for silky hair or straight hair. So both the genes together called what? Allele. So you may get either what? Curly hair or straight hair. It depends upon the chance. So alleles are alternative forms of a gene where they are present occupying same position. They are in same position in a chromosome. What type of chromosome? In a homologous chromosome. Homologous chromosomes in the sense similar chromosomes, similar both in shape as well as size, and affecting same character. What character it is? Hair character. Either the hair is straight or curly, but both are the characteristics of what? Hair. So it affects the same characteristics, but in how many ways? Two different ways. Got it now? Alleles are alternative forms of a gene. Alternative or opposite forms of a gene occupying where they are present at the same position or same locus on where they are present on homologous chromosomes or body. Keep it in mind, homologous chromosomes are always somatic or body chromosomes and affecting same characteristics but in different way. Now genotype. You know, karyotype is a study of different chromosomes arrangement in nucleus. But let us see what is genotype. The set of genes present in the cells of an organism. Genotype is the study of the set of genes where they are present in a cell. Cells are present in an organism. So the study of genes is nothing but what? Genotype. Phenotype. Phenotype is a visible characteristics. Genotype is a segment of DNA. The study of genes is nothing but genotype. Phenotype is study of external characteristics or visible characteristics. The observable characteristics which are genetically controlled. Characteristics are observable, but how they are controlled? Genetically they are controlled. Out of two alleles of a gene, how many alleles are there per particular gene? Two. Right. So out of two alleles of a gene, as I told you, one is curly, another one is straight. I am saying in case of hair, there are two alleles to encode what type of hair you may possess, right? So one is curly, another one is straight. So out of these two alleles, one is always dominant, another one is recessive. So the dominant one dominates the recessive one. Say for example, the curly hair may be the dominant gene and the straight hair may be the recessive. So dominant one, it dominates the recessive gene and execute the characteristics. If the curly hair is dominant one, it dominates the silky hair and executes its characteristics in a baby. That is why if you are any one of the parent possesses straight hair and another parent possesses curly hair, the curly hair always dominates straight hair and the baby may possess curly hair. So let us see now, out of two alleles of a gene, one is dominant, super ruling, and other is recessive, subordinate. The three situations pertaining to any pair of genes, as for example in tongue rolling. Now I am taking tongue rolling as an example. Tongue rolling in the sense, if you take out your tongue, see, if you take out your tongue, I can roll, I can fold my tongue like this. Can you see? But so many people cannot roll their tongue. Let us see one example now how it is possible. So for tongue rolling, there should be a gene. How many genes should be there for tongue rolling? One character is controlled by how many genes? One gene, but one gene has how many alleles? Two alleles. So the alternative form of a gene is nothing but an allele. So two alleles are there to control tongue rolling. What are those alleles? Rolling. Rolling starts with the letter R. So now I am taking two R's. One is uppercase R, another one is lowercase r. Capital R and small r. Imagine the first finger. The first finger is capital R. The second finger is small r. Small r is a little bit small. You see here, small finger. Forefinger is small. So I am showing this. This is capital R. So capital R, small r. Tongue rolling. So the capital R is dominant one, dominate. Which dominates? I mean it helps in rolling. Both dominate, tongue roller. If you possess both capital R, then you can roll your tongue. If you possess one capital R and one small r, still you can roll your tongue. Why? Because capital R is dominant against small r. If you possess both what? Small r's. If you possess both capital R's, you can roll your tongue. If you possess one capital R and one small r, still you can roll your tongue. Why? Because the capital R is dominant over small r. But if you possess both the small r's, then you cannot roll your tongue. See the example, capital R, both dominant, tongue roller. Capital R, small r, one dominant, one recessive. As the capital R is a tongue roller one, you can roll your tongue as it dominates. If both the small r, both recessive, the person is a non-roller. Just imagine now, if the person is tall, capital T, okay, take capital T. If the person is short, keep it in mind, this example is very, very important. Listen carefully. If the person is tall, take capital T. If the person is short, don't take S, take small t. So, for tall person, take capital T. For dwarf person, take small t. If you possess, say for example, your father may possess capital T, your mother, just imagine your mother is short or dwarf, so carrying small t. So, if the gene execution, if the baby possesses both capital T, then the baby is tall. If the baby possesses one capital T and one small t, still the baby is tall. Why? Because capital T is dominant over small t. That is why the baby is still tall. But if the baby possesses both the genes small t, then the baby is dwarf like a mother. Now you come to know why in a family, elders or scientists used to say marriages between the tall as well as short person is always good. Yes, take the example Amitabh Bachchan and Jaya Bachchan. Okay, both the kids are tall but not dwarf like a Jaya Bachchan. Why? Because the parent, the daughters as well as the son carrying his father genes, capital T, but not small t like a Jaya Bachchan. Got it now? The children may have capital T, small t or capital T, but not small t. But this small t may come for further generation or future generation. We cannot predict it. It depends upon the fate. Next, homozygous dominant, heterozygous dominant. As the name indicates, homo, similar, heterozygous, dissimilar. Homozygous in the sense, here itself you can see capital R is homozygous dominant. But if you see in capital R and in small r, still it is dominant but heterozygous because the genes are dissimilar. The genotype of non-roller is just one single recessive pair, that is small r. Here no need to say homozygous, just recessive. Next, Punnett square. Can you see the square? This square is also called Punnett square. It is a simple diagram in which the different types of gametes or sex cells with the concerned trait of one female parent are placed along one side of the square and those of the other parent male are placed along the other side. Can you see the picture? Here in the above, the upper part of the picture I have written parent female heterozygous tongue roller. As I told you, heterozygous, homozygous in the sense same, homozygous, same genes. Here I am saying heterozygous, different, capital R, small r. Homozygous in the sense we should write capital R. Here I am saying the female is what? Parent female heterozygous tongue roller. Homozygous tongue roller is capital R. Heterozygous tongue roller is capital R, small r. Here it is female. So write down the genes capital R, small r above the Punnett square. Now female is over. Now male. Now see the male. Parent male homozygous tongue roller. The question is, what happens if a female parent possessing the genes heterozygous tongue roller and male parent possessing homozygous tongue roller. First write down the genes. For homozygous tongue roller male, capital R, capital R. Heterozygous tongue roller female, capital R, small r. What are the possibilities? Multiply now. I have written the possibilities above capital R, small r, and left hand side capital R, capital R. So now multiply the both. Multiply first female parent with first male parent, capital R, capital R. I have written capital R in first box. In the right hand side second box, right second box, on your right hand side multiply capital R with small r. So capital R, small r. Now the second gene, multiply the second gene with first gene as well as second gene. Second gene of the male parent multiply with first gene of the female parent. When you multiply you will get capital R, capital R. Now multiply the second gene, that is second capital R of male with second gene of female, that is small r. So you will get small r, capital R and small r. So calculate now. How many capital R are there? 2. How many capital R, small r are there? 2. So the first generation, in first generation 50% are homozygous dominant, remaining 50% are heterozygous dominant, but all are tongue rollers. Then what is non-roller? Only small r, small r. You didn't get any non-roller here. Dominant and recessive forms of some common hereditary triads in humans. Let us see what are dominant and recessive triad. As I told you, dominant gene always dominates the recessive character. Brown is always dominant over blue. Say for example, if your mother or father carrying brown eye and any one of your parent carrying blue eye, definitely the children possess brown eye but not the blue eye. Why? Because brown is dominant over blue. Rolling and non-rolling, maximum the children will be rolling, but non-rolling is a chance. Why? Because the rolling is a dominant one. Right-handedness is common, but left-handedness is rare. Why? Because right-handedness is dominant. Free, attached, thick, thin, positive, negative, normal, colorblind, dimpled, normal. This is dominant over recessive. Sex-linked inheritance. It is very important concept. Listen carefully. Repeatedly asked question. What is meant by sex-linked inheritance? As the name indicates, it is the appearance of a triad which is due to the presence of an allele exclusively either on the X chromosome or on Y chromosome. As the name indicates, sex-linked inheritance. Here the alleles are the genes which are responsible for particular disorder. Say for example, night blindness or color blindness. This disorder, few disorders are there which may carry from one generation to another generation. These disorders, the alleles are the genes which are responsible for these disorders are present either on X chromosomes or on Y chromosome, but not on both. So the name sex-linked inheritance. There is a linkage, a gene linkage on chromosome, particular chromosome. That is why you may get those disorders from your parents or grandparents. That is why it is called sex-linked inheritance. Let us see now. I repeat the definition again. It is the appearance of a triad. Triad in the sense here a character, either it may be night blindness or color blindness, whatever it is, disorder, which is due to the presence of allele exclusively. Allele in the sense here the gene, a pair of gene where they are present exclusively, separately, either on X chromosome or on Y chromosome. X-linked inheritance. X-linked inheritance. Certain disorders caused due to heredity such as hemophilia and color blindness are more common in males than in females. Such defects are due to recessive genes which occurs on the X chromosome. As the name indicates, X-linked inheritance. The genes which are responsible for disorders are present on X chromosome. X chromosome. That is why it is called X-linked inheritance. This type of disorders are common in males but not in females. Females are always carriers. They may carry disorder, but they do not possess what? Those disorder. But X-linked inheritance can be seen. These disorders can be seen only in males. Let us see why. Let us see other disorders now. Color blindness. What are the examples of those disorders? Hemophilia. Hemophilia in the sense loss of blood without any clotting. If a hemophilia disorder person, if he get any one small cut without any clot, he will bleed continuously. That is why this is also called a royal disorder. Next, color blindness. Color blindness, he cannot differentiate different colors. Color blindness is an inherited disease due to which affected individual cannot differentiate between certain colors, that is red and green. Say for example, he may say red as a green or green as a red. He cannot differentiate red and green and few colors too. Hemophilia is a genetic disorder in which the sufferers, homozygous recessive females and the recessive X-bearing males, are at a risk of bleeding to death because the blood fails to clot in them. X-linked inheritance are always called recessive disorders. Why it is called recessive disorders? As I told you, you know what is meant by dominant and recessive? Yes, recessive is nothing but subordinate genes. Say for example, small r, small x, like that. Say for example, I'll give you one example. Why females are always carriers, but not why not males? I will tell you how it is. Females always carries only X chromosome. If they carry both disorderic gene X chromosomes, then they may get this disease. But females always give one X chromosome to a baby or offspring. That is why the female baby may carry the disease, but she may not be a sufferer. But in case of male possesses only one X chromosome and one Y chromosome, right? So here, if the X chromosome contains this disorderic gene, then definitely he may be a what? Sufferer. Next, rare cases of hemophilic males do occur, but practically none of hemophilic females. These two disorders are also called crisscross inheritance. I will tell you why it is called crisscross inheritance. Why? Because female mother always carries or gives these disorders to her sons, and male fathers or males always gives these disorders to daughters. That is why it is called crisscross, opposite. These two disorders are also called crisscross inheritance, as mother passed this disorder to son and father to the daughter. Let us see the Punnett square now. Here, case 1. In this case, we are going to see when a normal mother in the sense no carrying, she is not carrying any defective genes or colorblind or hemophilic genes in her chromosome. See, both the X's are normal, but in case of male, the father is colorblind. So as it is a X-linked inheritance, the defective gene you can see, or the colorblind gene you can see in X. So the possible gametes are X with defective gene. That is why here I have given one particular color or a particular symbol to it, because to indicate colorblindness upon X, and Y normal. See, the normal mother, normal X as well as X, both the X are normal, no defective gene on it. Why? Because the mother is normal. When you multiply the mother genes with father genes, see, X with X defective, X defective, X when you multiply with Y, XY. When you multiply the second X, normal mother X with X defective, you will get X defective. Here X and Y. See, what X and X indicates? Always female. X and X. So here it is a carrier daughter. Why? Because only one defective gene is there. Only one X is carrying defective gene, but not the both. If both X's are carrying the defective gene, then the daughter may be a colorblind. But here, as it is present only on one X, she is a carrier. See the son, the blue color one, XY, he is a normal son. XY indicates the son. He is a normal son. Why? Because as it is a crisscross inheritance, mother should pass this genetic disorder to son. Mother is normal, that is why she is not carrying the disorder to son. But as it is crisscross, the father is carrying this disease to disorder to what? Daughter. But as the daughter is only a carrier, she is only a carrying a disorder, but she is not a colorblind. When she becomes colorblind, when she get both the genes on the surface of what? X. See the second one, XX0, again it is a carrier, XY, again it is a normal son. So see the prediction, XX0, 50% are carrier daughters, 50% are normal sons. See the case 2, carrier mother and a normal father. Carrier mother indicates, carrier in the sense XX0, right? XX0, X0 indicates defective gene. Normal father, normal X and normal Y. What are, let us see the gametes now. XX0, separate X as well as X0 in case of mother. In case of father, normal XY, X and Y. Multiply both now, XX0 or X0X, you can take any first. So X0, when you multiply with X, you will get X0X. When you multiply X0 with Y, you will get X0 and Y. X, normal X, double X, normal. X and Y, normal XY. See the phenotypes now. X0 and X is a carrier daughter, normal XX, normal daughter. X0Y, colorblind son. Why? Because the son carries only one X, right? Son carries only one X. This X is carrying a genetic disorder. That is why the son is colorblind one. And normal XY, he is a normal son. Say the probability or what do you say, phenotypic characteristics now. How many carrier daughters are there? 1. How many colorblind sons are there? 1. How many normal daughters are there? 1. How many normal sons are there? 1. So, if there is a what link between, or if a carrier mother marries a normal father, if a carrier mother marries normal father, out of 4 children, 1 daughter may be carrier, 1 daughter may be normal. 1 son, if she possesses sons, 1 son may be colorblind, 1 son may be normal. So, why the son is carrying this genetic disorder? Why? Because as it is a crisscross disorder, mother always transfers this genetic disorder to son. But again it is probability. It depends upon the genes. Here son is also normal too. Out of 2 sons, 1 son is normal, 1 son is colorblind.